So, here's the deal. If you're into enduro riding, you already know the Husqvarna TE 300 is pretty much a legend. But now the 2026 model's been announced, and it's created this big question, right? Do you wait for the shiny new thing, or do you grab a deal on the current 2025 model? Well, in this explainer, we're going to break it all down. What's new, what's not, to help you figure that out.
And this isn't just some random thought experiment. This is a real question from a writer over on Reddit, and it perfectly sums up the dilemma. A brand spanking new 2025 for about 10 grand available right now, or the 2026 at a price we don't know sometime down the road. It's the classic choice. So let's dig in and see if we can find an answer.
Okay, before we even touch the 2026 updates, we have to get on the same page about why this bike is so special. The TE 300 isn't just another dirt bike, you know? It's really considered a benchmark, especially when things get nasty in hard enduro. Let's see what makes it tick. Now, that's not us saying that. That is literally Husqvarna's slogan for the bike, the ultimate woods machine. It's a heck of a claim, right? But it's a reputation they have seriously earned. This bike is famous for crawling up the gnarliest climbs and picking its way through the toughest stuff you can imagine.
And that slogan? It's not just marketing fluff. I mean, look at the parts list. This thing is stacked with top-shelf components right out of the crate. You've got Brembo brakes and a Brembo clutch. That's factory-level stuff. The WP suspension gives it that super plush, controlled ride. Pro taper bars. It's not a bike you need to start throwing money at to make it good. It's ready to rip from day one.
And the secret sauce behind its performance? It's really the engine tech. Throttle Body Injection, or TBI, is what makes the TE 300's power so usable. It gives you that snappy, fun two-stroke feel that everybody loves, but it makes the power delivery incredibly smooth and controllable. That's why it's so good at tackling tough obstacles. You get all this torque, but the bike never feels like it's trying to get away from you.
Okay, so we've established the 2025 is an amazing bike. Now for the main event. Let's look at the 2026 model and see what they actually did. What are the real, tangible updates that Husqvarna decided to put on this thing for the new year?
So looking at this list, the big takeaway is that this is an evolution, not a revolution. Of course, you've got the new graphics, but the real meat is in the technical tweaks. The suspension got a pretty major rework, there's a new off-road control unit, the OCU, for better reliability with the electronics, and they even threw in some smart little quality-of-life updates, like a screw-on radiator cap and better fuel line protection. And this slide right here, this tells you exactly where the focus was. The biggest engineering push for 2026 went straight into the suspension. The WP XACT forks got revised damping and this new Hydra stop to handle those really big hits and heavy landings better, letting you keep your momentum. It's all about fine-tuning an already fantastic system to squeeze out even more performance.
But, just as important as what's new is what hasn't changed. Husqvarna knows they've got a winning formula here, and they were smart enough not to mess with the core DNA of the bike.
The absolute backbone of the bike is still this incredible hydroformed chromium molybdenum steel frame. It's designed to have this very specific flex characteristic that gives the rider tons of feedback and keeps the bike feeling super stable. This right here is the secret to the TE 300's amazing handling. They also kept the really innovative hybrid subframe. As you can see, it's this clever blend of polyamide, which is a type of durable plastic, and aluminum. This design gives you strength where you need it, but also allows for some flex, all while keeping the weight way, way down. And the engine itself? Get this. It's an absolute featherweight. 24.6 kilograms. That's just over 54 pounds. Just think about that for a second. That's the heart of the machine, and it's incredibly light. This whole design is about mass centralization, keeping the weight low and tight to the center, which is exactly what makes the bike feel so agile and easy to flick around in the woods.
All right, that brings us right back to the million-dollar question, doesn't it? We know the 2025 is a proven weapon, and the 2026 offers some really smart, focused refinements. So now it's time to actually weigh the pros and cons and make a call.
So, is a refined suspension and a couple of nice-to-haves enough to make you wait? This is really the heart of it. But before you answer that, there's a big, real-world piece of context we absolutely have to consider.
This comment from that same Reddit thread is a major dose of reality.
Now, it mentions KTM because Husqvarna is part of the same parent company, so any production hiccups there could easily spill over and cause delays for this bike. This adds a layer of real-world uncertainty to that wait-and-see strategy that you just can't ignore.
Now, according to the official timeline, the first 2026 models start hitting dealerships in August. But look closely here. Production for the TE300 Times specifically isn't even scheduled to start until October. So even in a best-case scenario with no delays, you're looking at a pretty significant wait before you can actually get your hands on one.
So let's just lay it all out. On one hand, you've got the 2025. It's a proven, super capable machine that you can have in your garage right now, probably for a fantastic price. On the other hand, the 2026 gives you the absolute latest tech, especially that refined suspension. But you are definitely going to be waiting, and there's a real possibility of delays.
So, in the end, it really comes down to your personal priorities. Which path would you choose? The guaranteed ride time on a proven winner that's in your garage now, or holding out for those incremental improvements and the updated look of the latest evolution? There's really no wrong answer, but hopefully you now have all the info you need to make the right one for you.